Okay, this is the follow-up to that first video. Markets are falling sharply, and most people are concerned, and some of them are really panicking. And most people really think that they're invested in the stock market. And at times of stress like this, and I think back to the great financial crisis, I think back to the tech wreck, a lot of people start to think that the market is rigged, it's a house of cards. They start to think all sorts of things. And so, what we want to try to do today is just switch your thinking a little bit. And the switch in thinking would be when you're properly invested in the stock market, what you're really doing is you are owning fractional pieces, fractional shares of the best run companies in America. These companies have real products and services. They've got real earnings and profits, and they've got a very long history of adapting to whatever the environment demands of them. And I think what happens at times like this is people confuse the stock price of a particular company with the underlying value of a company, right? And stock prices will bounce around wildly on a day to day basis because ultimately stock prices are driven by greed when things are going well and fear when they're not going well. But more than anything, they are driven by headlines. But here's the reality, gang. The reality is the underlying long term value of these companies does not change on a day to day basis, but is ultimately driven over time by their earnings and their profits. Now, with that said, the best companies in America have survived wars, recession, inflation, other politically charged, chaotic times in our country's history, pandemics, and they keep growing. Why? Because they adapt. That's why they evolve and they continue to really create value in the marketplace. Now, we've been doing this for close to 3 decades, and we've gone through a lot of good times over that 3 decades, and we've gone through some tough times. And I can tell you that one little distinction of helping people to understand that they not so much invested in the stock market, but they are invested in the greatest companies of the world has been the difference between success and failure, right? So at times like this, you can be one of two people. You can be the type of person that's going to kind of know you have a plan and know that you're prepared for this and just stay the course. And what's going to happen for you, I promise you, is that you're going to be rewarded. Your wealth is going to continue to compound in your favor. Your wealth is going to continue to grow. Or you can react to these headlines. And if you react to these headlines, on some level, you're being separated from your wealth, and the wealth is going to compound against you. Now, I know these headlines are scary and I know there's a lot of noise, but really what we want to do with this video in particular is try to cut through that noise and share with you our perspective of over 3 decades. This time is not different. And when you are invested in the best companies in the world, I am telling you, they are the most powerful, most resilient companies on around the world, and history tells us in no uncertain terms that they always adapt, they always innovate, they always grow. Optimism is the only realism. Thank you very much.